Tempo Junior will be is really fun game. Like I saw Hypnotic play the original Tempo, Super Tempo before, and it just looks like such a fun game. And I noticed there was a Game Gear version, and I started learning it. And at the same time, Jimmy Diamonds also started learning it. Now we're racing each other tonight at GTQ, so that's going to be cool. So yeah, we're just going to be a little grasshopper here, trying to save Katie from Sansa, who kidnapped her. Yeah, this game is tough on the thumbs. That's just something I want to note here. Note, get it? Because there's musical notes here. To do a dash or a flutter like this, you have to double tap it. And the Game Gear, the D-pad is painful after a while if you keep having to double tap it. So yeah, that's an interesting little bit, and that's why I'm getting a Sega SG as well, just in case. Though it's still a lot more fun to play Game Gear games on the actual Game Gear. This skit that I just did is something that Jimmy Diamonds found and got working, which is the bug hop. And it just saves like 16 to 20 seconds or something like that. It's just, it's great. This is one of those things, like I wanted to roll into this clown and then start kicking him. I'm not getting him in the loop that I want him to be at. I'll just let him hit once more. Here we are. Okay, now I may have him. Yeah, there we are. Like, this clown, you just have to get into this little hit loop, and then he's somewhat free. You have to be careful that you don't get hit, but there we go. Like B-52 was a licensed game. I mean, I really like this game. This is really cool. This is a really cool little game. And it was just a lot of fun learning it, and then watching Jimmy play it on the stream in his first attempt of a speedrun. And then the same weekend, I also did the same. I mean, Squilly here has the best time, obviously. He recently improved his world record to 13:15-ish? Question mark. Using this new boost, so that's wow. That's fine. Be like that, Tempo. Be like that. I mean, I do still want to try the other Tempo games, honestly. They just look colorful and fun. You're not going to tell me otherwise. I like games that aren't that greatly received. That's generally what I get the most enjoyment out of. Like, the more obscure titles or the bad titles, like, they're often a lot of fun. 13-14, there you go. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to get to. Maybe when I get the Mega SG, I can contest it a bit, but we'll see. It's still going to be a really tough time. For now, though, like, I still really enjoy also showing these games off on the original hardware, on an actual Game Gear. Because, yeah, it's just not something that is done too often. There we go. Let's hit this enemy here. And then do one jump. Don't flutter, because fluttering, at the moment we're in the aura of a wilted flower. And during that, the walk speed and the flutter speed, it's all slow down. So, yeah, you have to be careful there. Then we jump up here. You can unwilt the flowers by hitting it with a musical note. But at the moment, we're not really close to it. And then We'll do it in the next stage, probably, depending on my my health situation. That bee was right into the middle there. Into the ground there. There we go. We will fly here. Jump up. Make our way up. Just get past these bees. Use this little bee to bop yourself up to the final platform and then continue on to the frog balls. And this is just a matter of jumping up and flicking musical notes at it. And if you're lucky, and he'll use his tadpoles, because that is just the best thing he can do, because if he moves with his mouth like that, you can't hit him for a little bit. So the best thing that you can do is basically keep popping up on a tadpole if it's there, and just keep hitting him with your musical notes. So, Winter Wonderland, and we got another little skip here by jumping into the spikes and then rolling around. Here we are. Here's a wilted flower, and as you can see, like, you can just make it a happy little flower again by flicking your fingers. So, what we're doing in every stage, actually, we're collecting a keynote. They're the golden notes that I pick up, and you could barely see it there, actually, because it was slightly obscured, but they're the keynotes, and obviously they unlock the exit, because they're key notes. There you go. And then we head to the exit. So you have to know where the keynotes are, and then you have to head straight for the exit. I'm happy with that frog fight. Often the frog will be a bit mean and do his little chompy attack, which just slows it down so much. I'll just flutter over all of the little fleas here. That bagworm there can't hit me. Another little fun speed tech here. I'm not getting it every time, but is to cancel out the attack. Like if you attack an enemy like a roll attack, you'll get bounced up. But if you press jump right after you get bounced up, you cancel out the jump, and it's generally faster. So here as well, I'm flicking the flower, because otherwise this is an incredibly slow flutter. Fall down here to get the keynote, kill that little flea, and get to the exit. So right now we're at the boss that I like to associate with Recalled, a friend of mine, because he has a penguin emote that looks a lot like this particular penguin. And this is one of the faster boss fights in general, if you get it proper. Which I'm... good enough. Good enough. There you go. So that takes care of Penguin. With a little cold flea behind it, controlling it. Not sure if it's cold, but because the frog one was green, but you know. I like to think that he's freezing there. Trying to be a good little minion, and then, yeah. Okay, so, right now, we are in the final stretch of the game already. Oh, that was bad. If I did an immediate flutter after that initial jump there, the coyote hop over the gap, then that would have been great, because that would have me end up in one of the bees and easily get to the other side. So here I have to do a little flutter. If you flutter there, the enemy will spawn, and that means that you can bounce off it. You can only really do that while you're fluttering around, because if you're just falling at that point, besides obviously being too slow at that point, you can also just take damage and be in trouble. So we got the keynote, we got the exit. We have one more normal stage to go before we have some boss fights. Here you don't go too far, as I tend to do. That was not a great hop. I wanted to be a bit higher, so I don't think I'll make it quite as far as I wanted. I want to make it, so I may have to drop it. Yeah, I'll have to drop it. It's fine. So fall down here. Like, a lot of this is just memorizing, like, why you have to go for things, and go from there. Kill these 3 enemies. Other than that, you can just... Oh. Fluttering along. An issue with Game Gear games in general is that often they have, like, those layers that are used. Ow. Which means that at the moment, the layer, the background is at times obfuscating my health. That's not necessarily an issue with Coca-Cola Kid. Not necessarily with Tempo, because often you'll have enough health anyway. Tempo has a good dance, yes, for sure. So here we have the Queen Bee. So I'm just floating above her, waiting for her to get vulnerable. I barely missed that one. And then dropping back down. It's a pretty straightforward fight. And if you lean to the right of her, she will constantly want to move to the right as well, but since she's at the edge of the screen, she can't go further. And there we go. So, we rescued Katie for the 4th time. Like, for some reason, she gets captured every time. Don't... Like, Princess Peach at least has to be rescued once, so you get doted. So, right now, we have grudge matches. So, some refights of the bosses that we fought throughout the game. These are random. Like, you get 2 grudge matches, and it's completely random which one we'll get. In this case, we're starting off with our little toad friend here, which generally isn't my strongest fight, and I think is one of the slower ones that you can get. But still, that was pretty solid. He's not doing the chomp too much. So that was the first grudge match. We got a second grudge match, which will be the clown, of course, the clown. Just wants to make a fool out of me. Fine. Fine. Do your hits. There you go. This fight can be quick if you can get him into this loop. Because he doesn't get many vulnerability frames, basically, before you hit him again. But getting him in this loop is a bit of a finicky task. At least for me. But still, that's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's like that. So it's not completely random, it is 50-50 twice. Yeah, you need refights. So right now we have Sansa, for which I figured out a little strat that I tend to use here, which is I'm not getting him in the right position here. Okay, there he goes. You can get him in a position in which he barely hits you, and otherwise you have to keep dashing into him. This is a quick way of killing him. But you have to be somewhat lucky that you don't get hit too often. Like, sometimes he just won't hit you at all. Sometimes he will hit you a few times, more times like he's doing now. And I need one more hit, and then we're done. There we go. That's how this was Tempo Jr. And with that, the final game of my little Game Gear list. And it was actually about 1 hour, so that was a nicely estimated batch of games. But yeah, Temple Junior, like most of these games are a lot of fun to play, and I really recommend you check out the Game Gear library as a whole because it is just a lot of fun. And there's still a lot that I want to play, that I want to learn as a speedrun. Thank you all for GGs all through the Game Gears section, Game Gear Hour. You can't even finish a glass of water that fast. I mean, you may not want to because otherwise you keep having to go to the bathroom. Yeah, thank you all for GGs. I will be back once more later on tonight for the Barney no controller race because I mean, how can I not be part of that? It's like the biggest meme game out there. I need to be part of that. So I signed up for that. Sadly, I don't have a good track record when it comes to Barney racing. Barney racing with on a marathon. So hopefully my luck will turn this time around. Other than that, yeah, thank you all for watching this little Game Gear block. I think we have Sonic Man coming up with Streets of Rage. Blaze? Streets of Rage 4, I guess? Think? Question mark? But it's going to be a great watch of a cool beat 'em up by Sonic Man. So definitely check that out. As for me, like I've been Grumpmeister, I speedrun a lot of speedrun and play a lot of generally obscure and weird and bad or games that you wouldn't really look for. No? Okay, Street of Rage plays. There. That was it. Like it used to be the Capcom Hour, but I saw that it was changed, so... Anyway, have a great rest of the marathon so far, and I'll see you all later for Barney. In the meantime, I'll just pet the dog. Because the dog is good. I can also just do this in the meantime, like